social media has put people under stress. It has given you a false sense of accomplishment. So you need to understand the reality between this unreal world, this imaginary world that you think is so, so real, and the actual world that's outside. The actual world is your friends, your family,
How about like these vloggers becoming journalists? Now there was kind of ethics, and like you said, even the normal course which you took in the beginning, you said they taught you like how to do it and what are the ethics and how there are the limits and everything. What is the limit for vloggers, Yani?
Well,
where is the regulation for that?
Initially, let's see, in the beginning, we said that social media has given everyone a platform to speak, to write, okay, which is not a bad thing. Everyone needs to express himself. It is the basic, let's say, one of the basic rights, okay, and that is recognized in many countries around the world. You have the right to speak and express yourself. No one can take that right from you, provided you do it in a way that doesn't offend others. Okay, there's a limit to freedom, which we need to understand, and that definition of freedom changes from society to society. It is influenced by societal values, by the faith that the majority of the population there holds. It's those are things that, or by the governments there. Okay, so it's a lot of things influence that. Social media has given rise to a lot of influential people. Okay, people who are unknown, but now they're influential. They could be vloggers, they could be influencers. Are they journalists? No, they're not, first of all. Okay, and why they aren't? Because journalism is not just putting information in, before everyone does. A journalist or journalism has a thorough vetting process. That's a systematic process of taking a news, vetting it, see if it's worth publishing, if it's correct, okay, checking the sources. There are a lot of steps before a news is actually put for media or for consumer consumption or for people's consumption. You can't just get a news and say, okay, I'm just going to put it there and then later see if this is right or wrong. Why? Because the damage is going to be done. Social media, any post on social media, whether it's written or video, it's like an arrow that has left the bow. You can't get it back. So you have to be really careful. But do vloggers or common people who use social media care about that? No, they don't. Because they want followers. And they think that if I get it before others and I have some crazy videos, which they do, by the way. So a journalist, he trains for years. It's not that one day you come out of journalism school and then the next day you are a big shot. No, they train for years. Okay, seniors train them. They have also learned about it in journalism school, of course. And they also know that not every information is news. And I'll give you the example, a tomato. Okay, if I put it on my social media account, it's a tomato. Everyone knows tomato. It's you're just stupid, It's a tomato. What's the news in that? But if I'm a journalist, I know that's not a tomato. It's a genetically modified organism. So then what I do is I ask questions, okay? This is genetically modified organism, okay? Scientists have genetically engineered this. Maybe the shelf life has changed from 3 days to 3 months. A tomato remains fresh on the shelf for 3 months without the need for refrigeration. I call in an expert to ask him questions whether the genetic modification is going to affect the consumer. What if, could it be that his body also undergoes genetic mutation? And ask those questions. Is it going to be expensive? Okay, how are you going to produce it? The genes you have to take from other organisms, will those organisms be affected? How is it going to be for the environment? All those sort of questions. We have this rule in journalism. We say that the best, or say the best news is that which fits which answers the 6 W's and an H: the who, where, when, what, why, okay, and the how. Okay, if we get a news. The information can be from anyone. It can be from you, it can be from social media, but I, as a journalist, I'm going to say, okay, fine, I've got this news. Now let me just see if I can add it. So you need to convert that news that information into knowledge. That's what a journalist does, okay?
However, to really understand what is fact and what is
exactly.
opinion.
However, social media hardly does that. And that's why you see so much fake news. And opinions. Yeah. Opinions is okay, as long as it's right opinions. I'm talking about fake news, okay? Especially in situations like the current pandemic. everyone has a view. Are the vaccines good or not? Do I need to wear a mask or not? If I take a vaccine, can I still go and mingle with people? No, I don't need. This is all some conspiracy by some country. No, this was a virus that was invented in a laboratory, and they will just air their thoughts, and there will be some gullible, naive people who will believe them, and they will panic. They will get paranoid. They'll get into depression. Some of them will just rubbish it. But if it comes from an authentic, a credible news source that has for years been known to thoroughly check their news, then people are going to believe it, okay, whatever they write. So therefore, people will, the sensible people will just look at that news media and believe what it says, okay, and not believe what the social media says. I mean, when you wake up, before you have even switched on your phone has so many news stories, quote unquote news stories from so many people saying, did you hear that? And they just pass it on as a receipt. That doesn't exonerate you from the blame. Okay, you have to take part of that blame as well. So that's how social media is kind of, it has messed up everything. And someone needs to put it back in place. You can't undo social media. And you shouldn't undo social media because it's a powerful source. Social media has done good as well. Okay, it has helped people to find their relatives. Okay, people who lived on one side of part of the world now know that they have a relative on the other side because they found him or her on Facebook, maybe on Instagram or whatever website. It has brought change. It has created awareness of people living in desperation, let's say in Africa, in Asia, okay, in other parts, in let's say in South America, and they would want to be part of the improvement in those societies. They wouldn't have known. They would have known through legacy media, but legacy media is slow and it's limited. Social media is like, if you live in, let's say, Brazil, and I live in, let's say, in Bahrain, okay, and you say, this is the problem in my town, in my village, okay, and I need help. Can anyone help? And I am a person who has the means, okay, and then whether I live thousands of miles away, I'll try to influence and get people to help in that part of the world. And that's how social media has the pros of the social media.